Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the Proud Zionist Jew Show. Today is April 8th of 2024, and you're on my backup channel, Strong Hand, Long-Term Thinking. There's an eclipse today. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Bitcoin always returns to its all-time high. 14 Bitcoin make you a millionaire today, and we're going beyond Bitcoin, obviously, since we're on the backup channel. Going to talk about Jewish stuff, but also, hey, hello, my elite friends, and it is amazing that 14 Bitcoin makes you a millionaire right this second. I want to thank Nomee Nome and John Martin. He's got a long name. We only need $73 for the next one Bitcoin show to go live. So come on, dudes. You can do it over PayPal. Contact me. So this is an experimental show. That's why it's on the backup channel. I might reduce this on the bigger, the main channel one of these days. But I was just thinking about all of this the other night, and it's becoming pretty apparent, first of all, that I call them blue hives. I didn't originate that term, but East Coast, West Coast, traditional big cities, liberal big cities, the culture is really degraded in terms of that it accepts really some primitive beliefs now and activities that make people who've done nothing wrong feel guilty and scared. Okay, there's this culture of envy and hate of the rich, hate of the successful. The victim is number one. Victim is always right. Being a victim is glorious. Being a loser is awesome. If you're a winner, you must have done something bad. So, I grew up in Baltimore, but in New York, in Baltimore, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, wherever, it's not too comfortable to be a Jewish person right now. On certain, the world, the mainstream media, again, likes to paint a picture that if you go to, you're going to get attacked by some white supremacists in the Mountain West. When in fact, if you're in Williamsburg in Brooklyn, you're going to get attacked by some just some ridiculous embracer of anti-culture, okay? And that's putting it really nicely. So I think there's going to be some really big problems. There is going to eventually be an event in one of these cities that's going to be horrible for Jewish people. And, how long do you have to put up with it for? How long is it worth it? How uncomfortable you're going to be? It's uncomfortable now. It's not the same as it used to be. You have to be careful what you say in order to fit in. There's just a certain level of just a tense feeling out there. And these are places where many Jewish people live right now. And it's not so fun. Now, I don't want it to degrade into something like totally nasty, 1900 Russia type of thing. I'm not saying that's going to happen. But these incidents keep increasing. And for me, I'm putting the warning out there now. There's going to be something bigger, maybe something organized. And people are just going to shrug their shoulders again. It's only going to become more uncomfortable. It'll make the news. Oh, woe is me. But then, everything will go back to so-called normal. And it's just chaos on the streets now. It's just up is down. Down is up. The most incompetent people are leaders. The most incompetent people make policy. The most incompetent people dictate the so-called culture and are revered for it. And that's not good if you're competent, you enjoy learning, you enjoy a family type of lifestyle, you're a little different, you support Israel. I mean, first of all, there was some guy on Twitter the other day, and people should know, I'm TechBot on there, TechBalt. I don't reply to people on Twitter. I post stuff out there. I retweet people. I don't get into arguments. But there was somebody that's like, hey, he doesn't call himself Proud Zionist Jew anymore. What are you talking about, dude? This channel is still here. It was never in my profile. I am very proud of being a Zionist Jew. I am more of a Zionist than ever. What I don't like, Israel hasn't been tough enough. Israel tries to fit in with the nations, and tries to say, "Oh, we have to be careful about this situation." You've got people trying to murder you, terrorists trying to murder you, and you have to eliminate all the terrorists. And they're being careful, and it's ridiculous. They should have took care of business long ago. So Israel, like the Jews of America, tried to play. You're never gonna if you try to fit in playing by just the woke rules that are out there, you're going to get crushed, okay? You're going to lose. You're going to have tragedy after tragedy. Be strong. Do what you need to do. Now, Israel is not Israel's a great place to live. These East Coast cities, some of the culture, Israel's got a very good culture if you're Jewish, okay? And if you just like success, if you enjoy success and positive and family life and learning, there are very few places like that in the United States right now. This is a good segue into the main topic here. So number one is, it's falling apart here in these blue hives. The blue hives are not good for Jews. The blue hives are not good for anyone successful. You could be targeted, and it's just shrugged. It's just, well, yeah, he was rich, so what's wrong? It was a mistaken. It was a robbery gone wrong. Now he can't walk anymore. Oh well, these things happen. Type of situations. It's just horrible. If you're not a human anymore in certain people's eyes, if you're successful, if you're a member of certain groups, you're just not a human anymore. And people can act like an animal toward you. And it's just funny, like animalistic culture is promoted, civilized culture is demoted. Who wants to be around that? Who really think about it logic? Do you want to be around? So where is civilized culture? Well, lo and behold, these Mormons out here that everybody hates, everybody says there's more open hatred toward Mormons than there is toward Jewish people in the United States. There really is. People just like nonchalantly say the craziest things about Mormons. And if you said this about Jews in just regular middle class company, people would be like, there would be people like, no, don't say that. But other people straight up say, yeah, the Mormons control everything. The Mormons they call them mountain Jews too. So Jews and Mormons have a lot in common. So what Jewish people have to realize on the East Coast, in all these blue hives, is that the Mountain West area has a family and all sorts of rankings in terms of social capital. The Mountain West area is so many of the states are ranked very high. For social cohesion and learning and family atmosphere. And this is because of the culture that the Mormons have established. Now, not everybody in Utah, it's unbelievable how many people are Mormons. Salt Lake City is the most Mormon city in America. And it's also the best city in America, lo and behold. But and this includes the suburbs and everything. But the city itself, there's all sorts of all sorts of stuff is allowed, but there's not craziness going on. There's not open hatred. There's not uncomfortable feelings. Not people getting attacked. If you're Jewish, and there are not many Jews out here, you can openly be Jewish. You can wear your yarmulke, okay? And no one's going to attack you. Now, can you do that in Williamsburg anymore, where there's in Brooklyn, where there are 1 million Jews? Can you do you have to worry about something? In Baltimore, in Park Heights, if you're wearing a yarmulke, do you have to do something to be worried about now at nighttime? It's a very good question. It's a very good test. I'm not the one who originated that test out there. But here in Salt Lake City, you're fine. And it's just, instead of coming up with conspiracy theories about Mormons and conspiracy theories about people that live that they're going to burn a cross on your front lawn, these people who live in the Mountain West who aren't Mormons, the Mormons aren't trying to convert us Jews at all. I think if you tell them you're Jewish, they especially don't try to convert you. I don't think they like to try to even do that. So then there's not even in the city of Salt Lake City. I have never seen any of those young guys trying to convert people, proselytizing or anything like that. I've gone off on a little tangent here, but the main thing, the reminder is the LDS, the Latter-day Saints, whatever you want to call them. What they believe, what they do in their third testament, it doesn't affect me at all, okay? Not at all. What affects me is that they've created this culture where success is and family cohesion is valued. And there's an entrepreneurial spirit out there. And it is a land, it can be a land of experiments, Utah. So Salt Lake City is a major league city, best major league city to be in. It's where I recommend Jews move to, Salt Lake City. Now, if you want a smaller version that's not, it's still got, Boise is the best, whatever the level below that you don't have a major league team of any sort. Boise is the best version of that city in the United States of America. And both these places are growing, but it's not like Jews aren't going to these areas yet. But Jews are so set in their ways. They got to stick to the East Coast. They got to stick to LA. They got to stick to, I mean, these places they got to stick because they can't take their friends with them. They can't take their house with them. They can't have their great house. You can have it all here. You don't be a tree, okay? This should be the area. Now, I would recommend that every Jewish person really try to move to Israel, but right now it's not too cool there. I didn't like their policies with the virus and everything, and it's harder for people to leave their country. So you take it one step at a time. But it's for the next 12 years. You've got a kid. It'll be fine out here. Now, things might degrade for various reasons. Cultures degrade over time and whatnot. But the backbone that these Mormons have established, that the LDS have established here, is great. It's friendly. And you can be in part of they don't exclude you. You can become part of their network if you're a civilized, nice person that admires the family, that values the family, that has family values, or is just a productive person. They don't judge you. I mean, and that permeates throughout the culture in the, not judging other people is something that the non-Mormon, the secular culture promotes too, because most people are secular here. They're probably, many of the people here are former Mormons, but they just still, they hold on to these values. They might not even want to admit it. They don't even, some of them try to be trendy and everything and have signs on their front lawns that you'd expect in these blue hives and whatnot. But this is no blue hive. It's a blue city. I'll say that they vote traditionally blue, but culturally, there's it's really solid. It's really friendly, and so the entire Mountain West is infused with this. So that's why a lot of people, there's all these Mormons out in Wyoming and in Utah and Montana, and these are great places. Now, I can see why a lot of Jewish people don't want to move to a small town or something like that, or want to move to Bozeman or whatever. And I don't blame you. It's too small for me too. But there's already a Jewish establishment here, a small one, the Chabad here in Salt Lake City, and I am real. People ask me, "What are you going to do with all your Bitcoin once you're, because the halving's coming up in a few days, and you said you're going to start spending it, and you'll be more once the halving comes around." And again, for some, what I'm interested in is, expanding the Jewish community out here, invigorating Mormon, LDS, and Jewish partnerships, and just I think anyone in Salt Lake City wants solid people moving here, okay? Solid people who bring business, solid people who are productive. They don't care what religion you are or whatever like that. They're not going to judge you on that. And so, if I can be a part, if I can use some of my Bitcoin to help, my people out on the East Coast in Los Angeles and wherever, get to a better state, be more comfortable, move out here. Because I'm putting the warning out there now, like Herzl did, like Jabotinsky did, and not as dire of a warning. And I linked to Herzl's, original plan for Zionism is linked to below. It's a great read. It's a very short read. I mean, if you played it 2x online, it's less than 2 hours, and it gets rid of all those conspiracies that people have about, what was Herzl trying to do? This is insanity that's out there. But I think if Jewish people take and people that admire productivity, take an objective look at Jewish people and Mormon people, the LDS, they'll see, this is some good stuff that got going on in Salt Lake City. And it's It's a land of experiments. They're not going to bother you. You could do what you're going to do. And I'm up for a really cool experiment here. And this is people, they're first going to hear about this, like Jewish people moving to Salt Lake City. Mormons? Oh, God, Mormon? They're not going to get it at first. So come out and visit. And I'm going to keep on expanding upon these ideas, maybe on the backup channel here for a while. But take it to the main channel. And this is all volunteer opt-in type of stuff. But you have to ask, how bad is it going to get for you? What's uncomfortable for you? Do you like, you're sending your kids to these very expensive private schools that you have to tell them, well, you can't say certain things about your Judaism. You can't say certain things about Israel because you want to fit in and you don't want people. And that's not politically correct. This is nonsense. What kids are being put through. And I'm talking about secular people, secular Jews out there. It's, if you're a secular Jew in the East Coast, it's probably worse than being a religious Jew out there. Because psychologically it is. Psychologically you've seen everything that was once normal for you. Fitting into secular society, you're not fitting in so much anymore, are you? Are you? Here in the secular society, you're going to fit in fine. And you're not going to have to be worried. A lot of people are probably like, what are you even talking about? What's this? Not Jewish people, but some of you non-Jewish people who don't live in Baltimore, don't live in Philadelphia, don't live in New York. Maybe live in some wild suburb of Phoenix somewhere. You don't know what I'm talking about and everything and that's fine. I'm glad you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you see some of this craziness, seeing how these cities have totally fallen apart, just like comparing it to before 2020, and now that they're it is like the worst kind of revolutionary stuff you see in the streets that you read about in history books. You see going on now, just the dregs of society completely taking over and trashing everything. And like the people, the middle class and the wealthy being like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. They're kind of laughing uncomfortably. Hey, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You don't have to put up with that. You don't have to put up with that. Come out here, baby. It's a lot of fun. And I just want to see, pathological altruism. It's bad, dude. It is bad, and that's what Israel is actually doing that right now. And it's war with the terrorists. It's pathological altruism, trying to live for them, sacrificing their own soldiers for the safety of the terrorists. It's so bad, and it's not. First of all, it's not guaranteed that they haven't gone full that. Obviously, they've done a pretty good job with the situation, but they still have it. They still have it, and it's in all of us in Western societies. We got to drop it, okay? If you're uncomfortable, if you are being made uncomfortable, if you're being threatened by people who want to destroy you and will only accept, you supporting them so that you support your own destruction. That is the end game of altruism, living for other people. It's saying another person has a claim on my stuff, you're saying. They have just as much of a claim on my stuff as I do. I'm just going to give it. I'm going to live for other people. It's what's the end of the game? You kill yourself for them. That is the end of altruism. And hey, it's manifesting itself in here. You live for yourself, all right? You live for your family. It's self-interest. There's nothing wrong with self-interest. There's nothing wrong with being an individual, and just it increases valuing productivity instead of valuing tearing everything down and starting anew, not knowing what you're going to get next, hating the good for the sake of being good. It is disgusting. It is what is taking over so many parts of the Western world right now. But here, that disease, there's certain people that have it, but there is this culture, this foundational culture that the Mormons set up here, and it is still here. It is still here, even amongst the secular people. So this is a serious message. More mistakes are coming to the East Coast. Oh, it's just such an unfortunate incident. There's going to be big unfortunate incidents for Jewish people in these supposedly, Jewish bastions, blue hives, where there's many Jewish people. That's where the disaster here. There are no disasters here. Okay, they don't even care. They don't even care that you're Jewish. And these Mormon people, they'd be so pleased to have another group stick up for them and say, you know what? We've gone through the same thing you have. You've gone right now. People speak worse about you dudes. We're here to support you and to spread the word that you've got a good culture. You're good people. All right. So I want to see if there are anybody. Lance is in the speaking about Mormons in Utah. Lance is in the chat. I hope you enjoyed this, man. Oh yeah, and UK Bitcoin Master Show is obviously going to start in 6 minutes, so we're all going to be there. Don't worry, I planned it perfectly. I'm good like that. All right, so yeah, Lance is in the suburbs, so he's got a completely different view of the main city itself. Let me tell you something, brother. This again, the main city itself compared to the main city. There's homeless people. Yeah, they're people. Yeah, all right, but you can walk safely at any hour of the day here, and you're not going to get jacked. In Baltimore, you're going to get jacked. All right, you are eventually, if you walk in at nighttime, you are going to get jacked in certain cities or in certain parts of Baltimore. All right, maybe all parts of Baltimore at this point. It's just if you did it every day, every night for 2 years, you will be jacked. Okay, that is insane that human beings have to put up with something like that. Now, again, in the suburbs of Salt Lake, some of the suburbs of Salt Lake City are like 80% Mormon. Okay, I mean, it is unbelievable. You think you're going back to Mayberry? Okay, that's what he's comparing. But some of us like urban areas where we can walk everywhere. You don't need a car here in Salt Lake City. There's going to be a little bit of grime and whatever, but it is a joke compared to all these what's going on in cities all over the East Coast of the United States in Los Angeles. It is just, you can pick fruit from trees here. And it's like, I can't believe it. Every moment I'm here. So, there are going to be some people, and if you're a suburban type of person, dude, there's plenty of great suburbs here. And I think all the suburbs kind of look the same here. I really don't like the cookie cut. There's some people that like it. Hey, I'm saying the Jewish people move to the whole region. Okay, move to the whole. You're gonna make friends anywhere you go in the region. But what I'm most familiar with is here in Sugar House, the best freaking neighborhood in Salt Lake City, and it's also where the shul is located. It is basically a Sugar House. Oh, my hair was a wild one today, wasn't it? So I've said so much here, and now UK show is going to start. So everybody, pound that like button. Again, one of my pillars of life is look at the world through a cultural lens. Don't judge people by religion or race and class and all this. What culture is the best? And if you're living in a culture that's fallen apart for whatever reason, reconsider your location and move to the best culture. Why not have the best? Why not have the best? This is the best. This is the best culture here. What they've established, what the Mormons have established. And they're, again, social capital. They are real. They've been, go to Vance Ginn's channel. He's interviewed 2 different people who come from public policy, respective public policy outfits, United States of America, who rank Utah so incredibly high in terms of business friendliness, social capital, just being family friendly. And why not pick the best? Utah's the best. Salt Lake City's the best city in Utah. And Salt Lake City happens to be the most Mormon city in the entire United States of America. And if you want something smaller, go up to Boise. But both are growing, and it's no coincidence at all that the Mormons happen to be. The Mormons control it here, they say. Oh, they control it. Yeah, sure. All right, great. Control. Look at these, the people who make up excuses, that make up these conspiracies. There's no control. They have a live and let live thing. They don't force you to be in their religion. They don't force you to do anything. There's a freaking Harvey Milk Boulevard out there. Okay, if they controlled everything, there'd be no Harvey Milk Boulevard. All right, pound that like button, because Harvey Milk was not a good person. He was not a good person, and we've talked about that in other shows. He's a hero for some, whatever, but look what he did with Guyana and Jim Jones and his younger men. What did he do? All right, pound that like button. I'm going to UK Bitcoin Masters channel, and tomorrow's Rosh Chodesh. Have a Rosh Chodesh, a great Rosh Chodesh tomorrow. Bye-bye.